Hey everybody, I'm Tammy. The cameraman is Chris, my husband, and this is Collard Valley Cooks. Today we're making my delicious lasagna out of the Volume 2 cookbook. It's called my Italian Meats Lasagna. Now, I've only got one meat for this lasagna. I didn't have prosciutto today, but just because you're missing one ingredient doesn't mean you can't make a recipe, especially if you got to drive all the way to the grocery store to get it, and I don't want to do that. So we're making a delicious lasagna without the prosciutto today. We're going to be using fresh parsley, fresh garlic, an onion, some red wine, fresh mozzarella, parm. Now, I didn't get the fancy parm. I got this because it was on sale, and this was the whole reason I decided to make lasagna today. I'm going to use some powdered rosemary. It's ground, and it's so good. A small can of diced tomatoes, or a regular can, a large 28 can of crushed tomatoes. And then we're going to use a whole pound of sausage, and it's Italian sausage. Now, the recipe calls for half a pound, but Chris wants a lot of meat today. And since we didn't have the prosciutto, we're going to go ahead and add this whole pound of Swaggerty's Italian style mild sausage. And so we're going to put this in our skillet and brown it. And once it's almost brown, we'll add our parsley and onion and our rosemary. But we'll wait until that gets hot, starts to sizzle, and we'll chop it up. Alrighty, while that's getting hot over there, we're going to slice our onion. Or chop it, I should say. Hope y'all are having a wonderful day. We sure are. And boy, are we going to enjoy this lasagna for dinner. This is an easy recipe for lasagna. You don't even have to mix up a bunch of cheeses to make this lasagna, and I'm telling you, it is delicious. We're going to get this over here and chop it up good. This is a Vidalia onion. Had them at the grocery store on sale. I got a whole bag. I love them. So, you know, we are Georgia people. I'm a Georgia girl. And Vidalia onions come out of the state of Georgia. So hopefully you can get them where you live. Y'all let us know if you can go to the grocery store and buy a good old sweet Georgia Vidalia onion. We'd love to hear from you. All right. So we're going to get over here and stir this up right quick a little bit. We do have some water back here getting hot for our lasagna noodles. I've got it back there. We are going to salt that water, but that's all you do to pasta water. And many of y'all know that because I've told you several times. But if you're new to the show, you may not have heard it before. Once this starts to get nice and brown, we'll add those onions. Boy, is it going to be good. I'll chop it some more in a minute once it gets a little hotter. Now we'll go ahead and salt this pasta water. So with pasta, you do not add oil or butter to it. That way the starch is on the pasta and the sauce sticks to the pasta well. So you're going to salt the water, but that's all you're going to put in there. Y'all can come back around here and we're going to chop up some fresh parsley. Now you want to rinse this really good or wash it really good. And I'm going to take most of the larger stems out of it. And you do that because lots of times this fresh parsley or really any herb will have a lot of sand in it. Dirt in it. You don't want to eat that. You don't want that gritty stuff in your recipe either. Let's see what I call for. Can you show them the recipe? This recipe is out of our second cookbook. And it calls for 3 tablespoons. The more the merrier. Chris was productive today. He worked out in the yard, and so he wasn't going to help me, but he did get a little rest, so he decided he would, and I was glad. We're just going to chop this up. That looks good. And you're going to want to smash these. I'm going to go ahead and just put them under I had already smashed them some when I took the skins off of them. I don't know what you're supposed to call them, but that's what I call it. All right. And I guess we could just go ahead and open this up while we're at it. This is fresh mozzarella, and it's actually sliced already, so it'll be easy to put in our lasagna. I better put it right here because it's got some juice in it. We'll lay it right there. That'll be good. Oh, and let's pour us up some wine. You're going to use 1 cup of red wine, whatever your favorite is. I just got cooking wine because me and Chris don't drink wine. So if you're Italian and there's a better wine to use for this, why don't you tell everybody in the comments? I'm sure there probably is. This is just red cooking wine. So you let us know what we should buy when we make this lasagna dish. That would be nice to know. I'm sure the difference in wine makes a difference just like it does with everything else. So I'm going to bring this over here. Now that we got everything prepped, we're going to chop this up really good. It's starting to brown a little bit, and that's what you want. You want it to have some color on it. All right, y'all, this is Italian sausage, and it has a lot of Italian seasonings in it. If for some reason you're going to use hamburger instead of Italian sausage, let's say you don't have any Italian sausage, then you're going to want to add a good bit of Italian seasoning into your meat. But because we're using Italian meat, we don't have to do that. And you could always throw some extra in there, but we've got the fresh parsley, the fresh garlic, and the rosemary. It's going to be really, really good. Now I'm going to grab these, and we're going to throw them in this meat right quick. Let me move this. Now the garlic you're going to want to put in at the last minute. I'm going to turn this up because we're going to burn that wine off of it. So we're going to saute this just for a minute. We're going to add our rosemary, then we'll add our wine. Now this is ground rosemary, so I just shake some in there. I love it. Now that's got a lot of flavor to it. And of course, if you've got fresh, then by all means use it. I just love these new utensils I just picked up during Prime Day. Oh, they're wonderful. And if you want them, they're on the website under utensils. And let me show you what all you get in them so you'll know while this is getting nice and toasty. These are all the ones you get. I love this little one right here. You get the pasta. You get a slotted spoon. And then you get a spatula. Now, I don't think I could flip an egg with that myself. But, you know, hey. A ladle and just a regular spoon. And they have these, they're silicone, and then they have these nice wood handles. I really like them. I don't put them in the dishwasher. You might can, but I want my handle to stay pretty. So I've just been washing them up when I wash up my pots and pans. They're easy to clean. Well, that looks good, don't it? And it smells good, don't it, Chris? All right, we're going to add the wine. Yummy. All right, we got that wine in there. And you're going to put this on a high heat, and you're going to cook that wine for about 3 minutes. Then we're going to add our tomatoes. Then we'll simmer it. But you're going to cook that wine at a high temperature for about 3 minutes and leave the top off of it. All right. The best thing to do about your lasagna is get your pan out that you're going to use, and you can use any pan you want to. I've got 2 different kinds of lasagna in here. This one's crinkled. I think I'll use it. It's pretty. It's got a crinkle across the top. But anyway, you're going to get it out and look at your pan and see how many you think you're going to need per layer, because you don't want to cook too much. And remember that it does swell up some after it cooks. So right now it looks like this one would hold 1, 2, 3, 4 per layer, maybe 5. And so I'll make 10 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because I know I won't have more layers than that. And let me just say this too. This pan is absolutely gorgeous. And it is I never say the name of it right. Chris, can you say it for me? It's an Emile Henry. He says, I always say Emily Henry, which is absolutely wrong. And let's turn this down. But it's on sale on the website, Udra Bakeware. All right, it is a wonderful piece of bakeware, and a friend of ours, Bob, sent this to us, and we appreciate it very much. You can tell by looking that a lot of that has evaporated out of there, cooked out of there, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to put our tomatoes in. Now, I call for petite diced tomatoes, but these are not petite. I didn't have any. And like I said, you never go and buy the certain thing. You just use what you got for stuff like this. There's no need to. And there's our crushed tomatoes. Now, you're not going to add your garlic until the very end. I don't tell you on the recipe, but let me just say this. Instead of throwing it in there, at the last minute before you put it in the oven, it wouldn't hurt to throw it in there 3 or 4 minutes ahead of time. The main thing, I just don't want you to boil that garlic or cook it at a high temperature. I want it to have a real fresh taste to your lasagna. And the way you do that is you don't put it in there while it's cooking, okay? You just put it in there at the end. You're going to put this on a low temperature, and you're going to let it cook for about 20 minutes. All right, we're going to drop our pasta. Now, I'm going to cook this about 10 minutes. I am not a fan of pasta that's oven ready. If you do have an oven ready pasta, I suggest you do drop it in some water first, at least for 5 minutes. Now, I'm going to cook this for 10 minutes because it is not oven ready. But I like for the pasta to be good and done. I don't like for it to take the juice away from your lasagna. That's why I don't like oven ready, because what that does is it sucks up some of the water and the juice from your sauce to create enough wet water to cook that pasta. And so I prefer to cook the pasta. That's my experience with using that type of pasta. It typically dries out your lasagna a little bit. Now, if you add the extra water in there to make up for the difference or sauce, then that's fine. All right, our pasta's ready to drain. I'll pour it right in here. What I'll do is I'll just drain most of it off, but I'm gonna leave some water in there because you don't want your pasta to be dry and stick together too much while you're trying to layer your lasagna. So what we're gonna do is put our lifter thing right there. I am going to add my garlic to my sauce. So I did tell you to press the garlic. I don't know why I was smashing it. Sometimes my brain works backwards. I'm sure I'm not the only one. And then I got one little bit left. Press. Get that all in there. Mix it up in there good. And it's going to taste really fresh. You can see this is pretty. It's got a lot of sauce. It's not dry. And that's good. You don't want your lasagna to be dry. And then I'm going to grate some mozzarella over that first layer. Smells good. You can smell that Italian sausage in there good. All right, I'm going to put one more scoop in there, and I think that's going to be perfect. So make a layer at the bottom, just like that. Now we're going to grab our noodles, and you need to be careful and don't get burned. And you're going to put these in your lasagna. And they should have swelled up some. It looks like they did. As a matter of fact, these are long enough for my entire dish. How nice is that? Wish I knew what brand this was. I take stuff and I put it up and I organize it, and so I throw boxes away. But you can tell it's got a line. Some of y'all might know what brand it is because you bought it before. But it's got nice little ripples all the way through it, and then these really pretty curly edges. It's a beautiful pasta, whoever's it is. All right. So now we're going to put a layer of mozzarella. Let me grab my block of mozzarella. I stuck it back in here because you don't want it to get room temperature if you're trying to grate it. So we're going to grate it. When you use a grater like this, you kind of got to go slow. If you don't, it can get bogged up inside there. This is a great little gadget. I'm enjoying my stuff today. It's really nice to have a cheese grater, a garlic press, these wonderful utensils. Makes cooking fun and easy. But you don't have to have them. So this is an 8-ounce block, if you're wondering how much it is. So this middle part is just going to be an 8-ounce block. I don't tell you how much cheese to use because that's up to you. That's up to you when you make your lasagna how much cheese you want to use. But I use a lot of it. Now I'm going to use this parm. Now, some people use Romano, and you can. If you want Romano cheese, then you would just mix these cheeses together in a bowl and then spread it on here, all right? But that's not what we're doing today. This time I'm going to pour some on top of it. And you want to save some for the top. Keeping that water in there keeps them easy to use. They don't get all stuck together. Just take it off the heat. All right. Now we're going to put the rest of the sauce on it. It looks good, don't it? And now we're going to lay this fresh mozzarella on the top layer. They got it marked just right to make this gorgeous dish. I'm going to take just a little bit of parsley, y'all, and sprinkle it on the top just to make it pretty. Because I got plenty of it. Why not use it? It's already been washed. And it don't have to be a lot, just enough to make it pretty. All right, let's get it in the oven. And remember, it's in our second cookbook. If you don't have our cookbooks, you ought to get you some because they are full of really good recipes. All right, we're going to slide this in our oven. and bake it till it's bubbly. I'm going to put it over here because I'm about to make something else to go with it. Not to go with it, but me and Chris are going to make something else. So I'm just going to use half the oven for it. There we go. We'll see y'all in about probably 45 minutes to an hour because that's a big pan. Hey y'all, this lasagna is ready. I put the convection on for it to get a little bit brown on the top. And some of the cheese has gotten toasty, so I am ready to take it out. It is bubbly and looks delicious. Boy, don't that look good. We are going to make us some bread, and we'll be right back with you to dip us out some lasagna. I've got some French bread. We're going to slice it, put some butter on it, and I've got some soft butter over here. And my little chicken, most people have those chickens and they never use them because they're antiques, but I use mine and I've chipped it, but that's all right, it gets used. Okay. This is the Gourmet Collection Garlic Bread Spice Blend. Lots of times you can find this. You can also find it online through my Amazon store. It's one of our favorites. We're going to slide this in the air fryer and get it nice and toasty, and then we're going to have our meal. I usually use my kasori, and I use the steak button, 400 degrees, for 6 minutes. Usually does a beautiful toast. All right, it got ready in 4 minutes, y'all. Let me see how nice and toasty it is. We love our air fryer. Our air fryer. Okay, y'all, when I was washing these, I noticed that this flat one is a different color, and it is not a part of the set. It is separate, and I remember seeing it when I bought the set, and I just had to have it, and it's around $9.99 if you go onto the website and go under utensils for this, just this piece, if you want just to get this one. I'll try to go right in between the noodles. And a lot of people have told me, Tammy, don't slice your lasagna for a picture until it has gotten to room temperature. It'll be prettier. And I never wait that long. I always want to eat it. So maybe I'll take a picture later. But for now, this is what we're eating. So there you have it. It's really pretty. It looks really good to me. And I like it because it's juicy. We like juicy lasagna, don't we, Chris? Now, my other recipe for lasagna is a little bit different. And it has more of it has the Romano cheese in it. It doesn't have the wine. So you could try both of our recipes. Make sure you get some of that fresh mozzarella. Now, you can add additional parm to the top if you want to. Chris really likes it. I like parm, but I'm not a big parm person, so I don't even add it typically to my spaghetti, but Chris typically does. Boy, that fresh mozzarella is so good. This is a hard to beat recipe. It's fresh tasting, it's delicious, and it is so good. I hope y'all have enjoyed watching our lasagna recipe from our Volume 2 cookbook. It is called Our Italian Meets Lasagna, and boy, are we going to enjoy eating it. Y'all have a wonderful day, and we thank you for watching Collard Valley Cooks, where we cook like Mama did. Bye, y'all. Love ya.